I'm Bill Fitch, and am chairing the Memory Walk this year for the Spartanburg group in the Alzheimer's Association.
And I became involved with the Alzheimer's Association after we'd called upon them for help when my mother developed Alzheimer's. She was in Vermont, and she moved to Spartanburg with my dad, who was her caregiver, in 1999. And we attended support groups that the Alzheimer's Association sponsored, learned a lot, had many, many helpful publications that they put out and that were available to us and that we used and read. And I had to walk my dad through some of this. He was over 90 when he came here, and was the primary caregiver. We had we have a program called Respite Care, which allows the Alzheimer's will pay for a certain number of hours per year with a trained caregiver to come into the home. And so this allowed my dad to get out of the apartment in which they were living and do some shopping. Once he played golf when the respite person came in, and it was a tremendous relief to him just to know that there was a trained person in the house, and the Alzheimer's Association provided that. So that was a direct thing that we had, and we knew we had to give back. We really did, and we'll continue to do so.
Once you have a family member with Alzheimer's, it affects the whole family. It doesn't just affect them. It affects their spouse, it affects their kids, it affects aunts, uncles, cousins. It affects everybody. And I think it's very important that we all get involved, because one, even as young as, a 5-year-old, their grandfather being diagnosed, it's kind of hard to understand the fact that, Grandpa's forgetting who I am, he's acting weird, he's not normal. And I think that's a good reason to be an advocate for Alzheimer's disease. You're losing that loved one. They're not just losing their memory. They lose their sense of self. They lose who they are. They lose their loved ones who they just can't remember anymore. And that's why I think it's a big part to have young people, fight for this disease, be an advocate, raise money for our programs and services we provide. Raise money for research, that one day I'd love to be out of a job, to where I don't have to sit here and be fighting for money, for this disease and for the caregivers.
Last year, over 350 people came out for the walk, and we expect at least that this year. We have some other events around the walk that we'll be giving publicity to over the next several weeks. But on September 15th at the Wofford campus, at the north end of Gibbs Stadium, at 9 a.m. we'll start our registration, have some other activities, and start the walk, which will go around the Liberty Trail behind Spartanburg Regional Hospital, and then circuiting the Wofford College campus, which makes it the most beautiful walk in the upstate, I think.